This fight doesn't happen if you're never born, right? You made this fight happen. Why this fight?
Not me, it is who behind me.
I like Crawford. I get right to it.
Why?
Because he's like the first time you went from regular TV, which you've been doing a long time, to 3D. He's different. Really, that's the simplest way I can say it.
Fight could really be a major fight that a lot of people are looking to see. When did you know that?
When the people start talking, and obviously everybody around try to make this fight. I say, look, needs to be big.
You'll box.
I don't know, maybe 2 more.
2 more years.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to accomplish that you haven't yet accomplished?
I already accomplished everything.
So there's
and I
nothing
did everything in boxing. Yeah. So I'm fine.
When this is all over for you, maybe in 2 years from now, what do you want to be remembered for?
One of the greatest fighters in the boxing history. That's why I'm here. That's why I start boxing. So I'm doing good.
I think you've already accomplished that.
Yeah.
The showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez wasn't just another fight. It was a global spectacle that shook the entire boxing world. Canelo himself confessed the matchup was simply too massive to ignore. At first, he brushed off the offer, but the overwhelming hype and worldwide demand made it impossible to walk away.
Fight.
You know, I take this fight because you can see how big is this fight, no? The beginning when they say, hey, you thinking about fight Crawford, I say, never thinking about that. But you can realize how big is this fight, no? Mexican, always Mexican versus USA is big. And 2 of the best pound for pound. And I think this fight is huge and means a lot for me.
When did you realize, when did the moment hit you that this fight can really, really be big? This fight can really be a major fight that a lot of people are looking to see. When did you know that?
When the people start talking, and obviously everybody around try to make this fight. I say, look, needs to be big, right? Because Netflix, Riyadh season, everybody interested in this fight. So that's when I realized how big is this fight.
Crawford felt like initially you needed some convincing because you thought it was a lose-lose proposition, whereas you're fighting the smaller guy, and if you won, you wouldn't really get any credit for it. Was that what you were thinking?
Yeah, but if you think well, I've been in that position before.
When the 2 champions finally stepped into the ring, fans across every corner of the globe felt it. This wasn't just a fight, this was history being made. Saudi advisor and chairman Turki Al-Sheikh revealed after the fight that the event had been about much more than boxing. It was about building a once-in-a-lifetime moment. He stressed how precious this night was for fans, pointing out the haunting possibility that this could very well be Terence Crawford's last grand stage. Hosting the bout in front of a worldwide audience wasn't just entertainment, it was the preservation of boxing history itself. For Al-Sheikh, seeing 2 legends collide meant giving fans a memory they would carry for generations. Even before the first punch was thrown, the praise was already pouring in.
Canelo is the biggest name in boxing now, and Crawford undefeated and have the chance to be undisputed for the 3rd time. Maybe this is the last fight for Crawford, and for Canelo, it's mean a lot for his fan in North America and South America and all the world. He doesn't want to get beating from guy getting up.
Legendary trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas, sitting alongside ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, put Crawford on an entirely different level. Atlas compared him to a jump from 3D to digital, an electrifying metaphor that highlighted Crawford's sharpness, his unmatched precision, and the way his skill set feels light years ahead of anyone else in the game. Teddy Atlas wasn't exaggerating. Crawford proved every word true the moment he stepped into that ring. His adaptability, his razor-sharp precision, and that ice-cold calm made him look like a fighter from another dimension. Switching flawlessly between orthodox and southpaw, Crawford didn't just react to Canelo. He read him like an open book within seconds, adjusting his game plan at lightning speed. That's why so many analysts had bet their reputation on it. Under the brightest lights, against one of the most decorated champions of this generation, Crawford showed the world exactly what it means to evolve into a complete fighter.
My country and my boss, you know, But really, if you look at as a business, this fight will not happen if we are not involved. As Gia, Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia, this is truth. Because even with what the relationship with Netflix, and we are very happy about it, still this fight costs more and more.
Speaking of cost more and more, for everyone who watches it, everyone already has a Netflix account. So they're not paying anything extra for it.
Yeah.
His composure wasn't just impressive, it was chilling. Fans watching across the globe weren't just seeing a great boxer, they were witnessing the future of the sport unfold in real time. Crawford's performance went beyond throwing fists. It was artistry. Every round felt like he was rewriting the rulebook on how elite boxing should be done. Fans walked away convinced they had just seen a new chapter of boxing history carved right in front of their eyes. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez, already a 4-division world champion, stepped into this battle with his path seemingly written in stone. But on this night, destiny wasn't guaranteed. Canelo Alvarez has made it clear, retirement is coming within the next 2 years. After unifying titles, headlining stadiums packed with tens of thousands, and cashing in as one of boxing's biggest attractions, he's already done it all. His legacy was never in doubt. But against Terence Crawford, his performance showed this wasn't just about winning another fight. It was about carving his name into the sport's immortals. At this stage, Canelo wasn't chasing belts. He was chasing memory. How would history remember him once the gloves finally came off?
You, however, are the guy who just paid hundreds of millions of dollars for a pay-per-view fight that you wanted to see. So people like to get their money's worth. What do you want to see from this fight?
First, not what I want to see, what all the people around the world, and you are fans of boxing, want to see. It's take too long, but thanks God, without the support behind me from my government, my leaders, the Crown Prince and the vision, and without the love of the fans, we will stop not complete. This is what push us. This kind of fight, special Canelo Crawford, I want to explain it to you exactly why it is important and the fight of the century.
Broadcaster Simon Jordan didn't hesitate, saying bluntly, "I think you've already accomplished that." That statement hit heavy because Canelo's body of work speaks volumes. From exploding onto the professional scene as a teenager to becoming one of the most bankable pay-per-view kings of all time, he's been carrying the burden of global expectations for over a decade, and somehow he's delivered again and again. Jordan reminded fans of a brutal truth. Most fighters burn out fast. Very few manage to stay at the very top for 10 straight years, let alone dominate across multiple weight classes. Yet Canelo has done just that. And in this fight, his poise was on full display. His ring IQ, his calmness under fire, and his ruthless ability to pounce on even the tiniest mistake proved why he isn't just a champion. He's a legend of this era, with a legacy already sealed in stone. Every move Canelo made, every tiny adjustment in those heated exchanges, showed the kind of battle-tested wisdom that only comes from decades inside the ring.
All I care about as the promoter of this event is that it's a good fight. Over 65,000 people are coming in for this fight live. Who knows how many are going to tune in around the world on Netflix, but what I want is when it's over, everybody turns off the TV or walks out of the arena and goes, "I'm so glad I came to this fight."
That was a war.
I mean, I could sit here for an hour and break down the fight, both ways for both guys. But what I truly believe is because Crawford's moving up in weight and this legacy thing is so important to him, he's going to come at Canelo. And you know how Canelo is a counterpuncher and hits hard, and I think it's going to be.
Younger, fresher challengers may keep climbing the ranks, but as Simon Jordan pointed out, Canelo's longevity sets him apart in ways most fighters can only dream of. Fans were reminded that lasting this long at the very top against bigger and hungrier opponents is a rarity almost unheard of in boxing today. That's why this fight wasn't just another defense for Canelo, it was another stamp proving his place as a generational icon. And then came the words that shook the sports world. UFC President Dana White, a man who lives and breathes combat sports, didn't hold back. Speaking as both a promoter and a fan, he called the showdown the biggest boxing match of modern times.
Tell you what I think is best for each fighter, and I think, you know, if I was able to give my advice to Terence, it would be, I think that he should box on the outside, or I think he should be all the way inside.
Really? Wait, all the way inside? That would sound like, no, you don't want to be on the inside because, like, Canelo could land body shots.
Yeah, but Terence is a great inside fighter. He's ridiculously strong.
With 65,000 tickets sold, the spectacle was unreal. White described it as war, not just a fight. And he wasn't lying. The roars of the crowd shook the arena with every single exchange. And inside the ropes, both men delivered nonstop chaos that felt monumental from the opening bell to the final second. This wasn't just about belts or records. It was a cultural moment, a clash that stamped itself into sports history forever. Showbiz The Adult looked back at the leaked sparring footage between Canelo Alvarez and rising welterweight star Jaron Boots Ennis. And suddenly, those short clips hit different. At the time, fans shrugged it off as just another training session. But in light of Canelo's performance under the blinding lights, that footage has taken on historic weight. Those sessions weren't just practice. They were war drills. Canelo wasn't going through motions. He was sharpening his blade against one of the sport's most explosive young killers. Even in the brief glimpses fans got, the intensity was undeniable. The speed, the precision, the timing, it all showed Canelo was testing himself at the highest level. And Ennis, already feared as one of boxing's most dangerous prospects, gave him the kind of resistance that forced Canelo to refine every single weapon before fight night. Once the dust settled from the main event, fans and analysts rushed back to those sparring clips with fresh eyes. What they once thought was routine now looked like prophecy. That session became part of the bigger story, proof of how Canelo fine-tuned himself for a battle billed as one of the most important fights of the modern era. In hindsight, those raw gym moments aren't just training.
Back in the day, I used Betamax, and then that was good. It was cool. VHS, VCR, all that stuff. I still got them, actually. And all of a sudden, digital came around.
There you go.
He's digital, really. And I'm not knocking Canelo for all the people out there that, you know, want to pull their arrows now and start slinging shots at me. Hey, that's okay. That's fine. But I'm not knocking him. He's a good, solid guy. He's
Good,
tremendous.
solid guy. He's 63-2, Teddy, and has never been knocked out. And this guy that's fighting him is moving up.
They've been etched into boxing lore as a rare glimpse at greatness in the making. While Canelo's sparring sessions stole the spotlight, Crawford's camp wasn't staying quiet either. Word spread that his team had been carefully studying every leaked clip, breaking it down frame by frame. They weren't just looking for weaknesses in Canelo, they were building a strategy to turn his own strengths against him. Insiders whispered that Crawford's trainers believed Canelo's timing had slowed, and while his power was still devastating, his legs didn't carry the same spring as years past. Crawford's camp made it clear. They were ready to use movement, angles, and relentless adaptability to flip the script.
63-2.
Wait, what's his record?
63-2.
By who's accounting?
What do you mean by who's accounting? What are you trying to say?
What am I trying to say? There's a couple fights there that you might be able to argue there. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Sudden with Triple G. Just a little bit. A little bit, you know? I mean, you're insulting him a little bit. You know, like in a movie with De Niro.
I'm not insulting him. I'm pointing out the facts. But here's my point to you, Teddy.
And judging by the way Crawford carried himself fight week, calm, grinning, unfazed, it looked like the mind games were working.
He's 63-2.
Lara, how about the Lara fight?
Hold on.
You want to go back further?
Okay. What about Madrimov with Crawford? I'm just saying.
No, he beat Madrimov. He didn't look the way we want him to look.
Okay.
Because stepping up for the first time to that weight class, he didn't look the way that we wanted to say, oh, my God.
Well, stay with me. Let me ask you this question.
And Madrimov was not getting the credit for the kind of fighter that he was.
But let me ask you a question, Teddy Atlas. He didn't look the way you wanted him to look, moving up from 147 to 154. Now he's going from 154 to 2 weight classes to 168 against a guy who's 11-0 at the 168-pound limit and is entering his 12th fight undefeated and has never been knocked out.
Yeah, VHS digital. Did you worry about that jump when you went from VHS to digital? No, you just said we're at digital now, and it looks good. It looks really good, and you look great. No, you do.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You look tremendous.
But I'm just saying. Listen, I believe in Crawford too, and I believe that Crawford is one of the top 2 fighters on the planet. But he is moving up 2 weight classes, and when people look at him going up against Canelo, here's what they're saying. He's got to keep his distance. He's got to hit, stick, and move. He can't stay in front of.
Boxing insiders began to frame the matchup as more than just skill versus skill. It became a battle of eras. Was Canelo still the unstoppable force, or was Crawford about to expose him on the biggest stage of all? Every stare down, every interview, every training clip fueled the tension, leaving fans buzzing with the feeling that something historic, maybe even shocking, was about to happen. Former super middleweight champion Caleb Plant, who once went toe-to-toe with Canelo, didn't hold back his respect for Terence Crawford leading up to this clash. Plant described Crawford as ridiculously strong and powerful, and once the fight unfolded, that statement rang true for the whole world to see. Even after moving up in weight, Crawford's shots carried shocking force, and his presence in the ring made it impossible for Canelo to just bulldoze forward like he had done against others. Fans and analysts couldn't ignore it. Crawford's mix of pinpoint accuracy and sneaky raw strength forced one of boxing's most durable champions to show respect. That's no small feat, and it reminded everyone that Crawford's skills weren't just flashy. They were built to hold up under pressure against legends. But not everyone was convinced before the bell. Veteran warrior Gabriel Rosado had warned that Crawford would have to be extra careful against Canelo, pointing to the Mexican icon's long history of handling bigger, stronger opponents with ease. And Rosado's warning proved spot on once the fight got underway. Every time Crawford tried to push forward, Canelo's composure showed. He absorbed heavy shots, answered back with punishing counters, and reminded the world that experience at the top level is its own weapon. Rosado's words echoed loudly as the rounds played out. This wasn't just about who punched harder. It was about size, strategy, and survival on boxing's grandest stage. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next one.